Good morning, Miss Coleman, Mr. Bennett, Miss Brown, and Miss Austin. Y'all the only ones that's saying hello to me. Everybody else just be like, get the training going. Get the training going. What you doing? I will. Get the training going. I ain't here for no small talk. Man, if y'all really knew a little more about me, that's who I was like 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Even before that, long before that. I didn't speak to y'all when the training started. People used to say, why don't you say hello to when we open our live? And I'm like, I ain't here to say hello. I'm here to do the training. Let me start talking right now. I ain't got time for all that. Why are you so rude? Are you just so, I don't know what's wrong with you, Mr. Fleming? So I finally gave in and felt like I should do a little warming conversation or a little foreplay with y'all. You know, I wasn't doing that. I was straight to it. But now, good morning. Good morning, Miss Austin. Mr. Bennett getting in the mix with y'all. You know, one time it was about 10 ladies saying hello and no man. Now we got one in there that's in the mix saying, let's go. Y'all ready? All right. Now, you know, whether you know it or not, it's very difficult talking to you guys over this screen because I can't see your body movement. I can't see your facial expression. I think I was the master, or I think I am a master of reading an audience. You know, like when I'm speaking, I go from one end to the other end. I walk up the aisle because I'm looking to see how people are accepting what I'm talking about. I'm looking to see how people feel. Because what Earth, Wind, and Fire say, ain't it funny how you feel shows on your face? Or something like that. What was that song? Ain't it funny how the way you feel shows on your face? It's hard to not show how the way you feel just by your mannerisms, you know, just by doing this, some of the things that you do, it gives you like a cheat code to know what these people are really thinking. I would know kind of when the time to end it. I could see when people were tired. I knew when I really had the crowd moving because it was participation. People ask questions. I don't think, since I've been doing this, I don't know, I can't even remember when I started, 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago. I don't think one time in the chat, somebody said, hold on, Mr. Fleming. hold on, Tony. What about this? Can I ask you a question about that? Can I? If I was on the other end, I would be blowing up this chat. They'd be like, who was that guy out there asking all them questions? Be me. So sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, when I turn this on and talk to you guys, I'm still uncertain. Because, see, I'm not the guy who just would like to talk and then be done and not care whether you got it or not. That's not me. Remember, I'm a teacher. Good teachers want their students to get it. Now, speakers and motivators and you name number individuals. Their goal is to get the message out and move on. Tell somebody else and move on. The hell if you got it. Now, that was a little I'm not saying that the speakers don't care. No, they do care because they got to get it, but they don't care enough to say what the way they look at it and where most people look at it. Them folks are grown people, Tony. They used to tell me that all the time when I did training. They are grown adults. You can't make them get it. You shouldn't even care if they got it. And I'm like, huh? Don't care if they got it. What's wrong with you? No, they're grown adults. You can't twist their arm. You can't make them. I said, I'm not trying to twist their arm. I'm just trying to get my point across and understand if they got that point. Now, whether they go apply it and use it, I don't know. But I want to feel like you got the point. I've had people leave events and trainings and, I ask them, did you get it? Yeah. I'm thinking in my mind, no, you didn't get it. See, that's why it's hard for me to talk to like ladies when they ask me to tell them the truth. No, they want to hear. Now, men too, but I could talk to men that way. We can, have it out. We can battle it out. We'll be talking again the next day. Some people hold grudges. Some people, when you say something to them and they don't, some people, I'm not going to say who, a different group of people. I ain't trying to, they want you to tell them what they want to hear. And the problem with that is when you say, tell me the truth. But I've learned, I don't tell you the truth. I just tell you what you want to hear and, move on. Took me 20-some years. It took me to say, hold on, man. You beating your head against a wall. You can't do that. So you got to ask yourself, I don't know how you can get things without really digging into it and having a conversation. Good morning, Miss Dawkins. Okay, Adrian Dawkins. Cool. But yeah, so that's my point. We can go now. We can get started. Hold on a second. If you walk around the house with water, you wind up sitting water anywhere. I'll sit this glass anywhere. I don't need to show that logo. All right. Let's talk about winners. Let's talk the hard truth about winning. Winning, number 13. 13 number ones. If you understand what he says, he don't line them up 1, 2, 3. Everything is number one. And by the way, y'all can't have one of these. I know you're over there thinking, dang, can I get one of them Jackson State hoodies? No. Only Jackson State people can wear these. People that went to FAMU, no FAMU people can wear it. All right. Winning makes you different, and different scares people. Winning makes you different, and different scares people. Well, how does it scare them? Well, first thing is they see you moving further and further away from them. That scares them because you're leaving them. Second thing is because you're talking about different people now that your best friend or your friend doesn't know those people. Second thing is your habits are changing. Your work ethic is changing. That scares people because they don't want to do it. They don't feel they can do it, and they seeing you do it. It really does. So at a certain point, you got to move away from those people. And that's what a lot of people don't believe. They don't believe they got to move away. They don't believe that oh man, it's my best friend. They can be your best friend, but you can't be in that same environment with them so much. In my Color Purple voice, the song said, "Hell No," on the jersey. Now, see, let me say something. The 2 Color Purple movies I hadn't seen. So I'm gonna see if I can get what you're saying. The song said, "Hell No." Oh, you talking about the? Oh, okay. I wish I could hear the Color Purple voice to know the emphasis you're putting on it. But I understand. I know people they never wants to admit, things. So I understand. You want one of these. Why you give you one? So winning makes you different, and different scares people. Winning wages war on the battlefield in your mind and your thoughts. Can you do it? Will you do it? You can't do it. Ain't nobody in your neighborhood has done that. Your dad was nothing. You ain't never had nothing. Why you trying? Why you trying? Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Why you trying? Why you trying? I don't know why you trying. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you shouldn't stay out. You shouldn't get outside of that box at all. That's what this is saying over here. And until you get some success under your belt, or until you are well read, or you getting a ton of training, this voice over here is real silent. And when it speaks, it's low. This one here is wow. It's just wow. It's in your head like, I don't know why you're doing that. I don't know why you're going over there. I don't know why you signed up for that. I don't know why that ain't gonna work. I wouldn't give him my money. It's not even a battle at that point. It's the battle for you to not let this one man. At some point, they both start battling. And you feel a little good about it. When this one gets louder, you start like, yeah, yeah. But until this one gets louder, meaning you have some success that you want to have, so then you telling this fool over here, man, shut up. I'm already winning. Now, you could tell him that now, but that little voice is still kind of timid, because it really, it really doesn't have enough confidence. But this one does. See, this voice been with you for years in the box. It's been living with you for years in the box. It grew up with you. It was in the household with you. It been with you. So it's like, hold on, man. That ain't what we've been taught. What are you doing? Name somebody from your neighborhood, some of your friends that's doing this. They're going to think you crazy. But if you keep going and you get some success to where you believe a little bit that you can win, now this voice perks up. And this voice over here is like, where you come from? Don't worry about all that. We winning over here. Yeah, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to last. You telling that it ain't going to last? Okay. And then this voice over here is like, you shouldn't be saying anything. You know how we live. That battlefield, you got to win that. You got to win those thoughts. And the thoughts going to double down once you start winning. It ain't going to just give up. But this voice is going to become stronger. So winners, see, this is the stuff we're talking about that's not shown on Instagram. This is the stuff that's not shown in TikTok and Facebook and social media. In social media, what you see is the cars, the houses, because they're winning, or some of them are winning. Some of it is fake. But you see them producing the cars and the houses, you don't see them on Instagram battling with this. You don't see them on Instagram staying up to 5 in the morning. You don't see them on Instagram with no money in their bank account, but they still hustling, trying to get money in to keep going until they hit a big number. You don't see any of that. That's why when you read this guy's book, it's kind of make people angry. They're like, he sound like he just, it should be some happiness in winning. It is. It is. But it's other things too in winning that people don't want to talk about. Look, for some of y'all who have been around for a while and had some success, and I'm talking about in building teams or whatever. If you literally told your prospect what you literally had to do, it probably will run them off. They wouldn't do it. It's a process. Once you get into this thing, you got to grow, you got to change, you got to do a lot of things that you never thought about. Like I said, I had a partner of mine tell me if I knew all the things I had to do to change the win, I probably wouldn't have done it. I didn't know. He's like, as I got into the groups and companies and working more and more, I realized for me to get further, I had to work on this. I had to change myself. I had to put a lot of effort in to do it. He says, it's good. It was for the better, but I don't know if somebody had laid out detail by detail what I had to do if I would have done it. So when my teams get mad at me because I told people the truth, I never went that deep, but I just told them the truth, which most people don't do that. One reason is that people don't know the truth because most people have never done that. Second reason is people they're afraid to run them off because, everybody want to get paid. Everybody want to get paid. I mean, they're like, Tony, you could at least let me get 2 checks from them. I'm like, oh, that's how you look at them, as 2 checks? Like 2 chains. I said, I'm going to start calling you 2 checks. Yeah, I want to get some money, but you can't run them off in the training. You mean by telling them the truth? Yeah, they ain't got to tell them all that. Oh, okay. I say, so give me a list of things you want me to tell them, and then we'll go by that. I ain't got no list, but you should be saying certain things. Certain things like what? Like you told them, that you got to work hard, and this ain't just a little small amount of numbers of days if you want to make this money. I was on there listening to you when you said it. You heard how he paused. I said, yeah. What do you want me to tell him? That it's easy, get in and just go? That's what you want. No, but I don't want you telling them how hard it is. Oh. Should I tell them how easy it is? No, Tony, it ain't that easy, but just don't tell them nothing. Let them come in and go to work. I said, all right, 2 checks. Two checks. 2 checks ain't thinking about building them up, training them, keeping them around for years and years and years and helping them. And 2 checks ain't thinking about that. 2 checks want 2 checks. Let me get 2 checks off of them. And then, 2 checks. All right. Winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself. Winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself. Winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself. Put in the chat, doggone it. Make y'all say something. Put in the chat why most people don't take the ultimate gamble on themselves. Too easy to quit. Fear of Miss Spencer, did you just create a word? What word is that? What's that word Miss Spencer wrote? What? I can't pronounce that. Okay. Too easy to quit. Fear, lack of confidence, belief in themselves. See, I'm going to go with Miss Wiseman and Miss Sampson. Not to say that everything else you're saying is not true. It is true. But I believe the main thing is self-esteem. Most people in life, without them knowing, life has beat them down. Things has happened to them since a child to where the inside of a person doesn't feel like they can do anything else but get up and go to work at a job. Their esteem is really beat up. Their, somebody said confidence. Their confidence, their belief in themselves. It's just, they can't take that ultimate gamble. They can't take that gamble on themselves. Now, little do they know, well, I believe if they got involved and they plugged into the training every day, with about 7 to 9 months or 10 months, they would change a lot of those issues. But unfortunately, the people who have those issues, they never start, or if they do, somebody said it on there, they quit. And they quit before they get the training. I'm not talking about just my training. I'm talking about in any company. Well, they don't have this kind of training in any company. They just don't. But if they get taught to plug into audios to listen to, videos, the books, and they get plugged into going to certain events where there are speakers talking to them, now it's opening up. But you can't do that for a week or two, look at the scoreboard and say this doesn't work, which that's what most people do with low self-esteem who started a company. They never give it chance to grow or for them to grow. They don't believe because they hadn't been around enough to start believing and seeing some of the things. I have people over my years would say how they operated better on the job just from this. But it wasn't from the first 2 weeks. I got leaders that work in corporate America that is starting book clubs with their team that they work with. I got a guy in Maryland. He runs this big, large grocery store. Can't think of the name of it. He got the corporate staff reading books. I know it's driving them crazy. I don't mean the corporate staff of higher up. I mean the staff in that grocery store. So it's like 6 or 7 people. But he didn't get it until like a year later, or 2 years later. He told me that. I think it was one particular book that really got him fired up and made him kind of go back and listen and read other books. He wasn't really he didn't really read the book. He kind of just, and he started realizing, he's like, man, I might not be as good in the business that I need to be right now. But what this is doing is getting me to another level of something I'm already good at, which is managing this grocery store. Now I got another thing I can add to my arsenal. And so he's like, I'm already high up, but adding this is going to make it even better. He said, eventually, the other things. And then sometimes it might not work out for people. Sometimes you could do all you can and it might not just work out. If you give it 2 or 3 years, but why are they doing this? All right. That's why people don't take the ultimate gamble on themselves. So I just want you to know that. So when you beat them up and keep calling them, they just feel insecure. Now you can't tell them that because they really would get mad at you. I can hear you now. I was listening to a guy in our training. He was talking about, I'm thinking about you. You got low self-esteem. They gonna snap back at you so fast. Your mama got low self-esteem. Who you talking about? I'm gonna tell you something funny too. Some of them probably don't even know what low self-esteem mean. They just sound like you just said something about them. What do you mean? Who you calling low self-esteem? The truth, if they told the truth, they should say, what's that mean? Who talks about low self-esteem in the school system? Who talks about low self-esteem throughout college? What class is on low self-esteem? Building your character, mindset, belief. What class is that? Oh, I thought. Winning is heartless, but you'll use your heart less. Winning, I'm sorry, it not is, isn't. Winning isn't heartless, but you'll use your heart less. What's that mean, folks? You will use your heart less. Less emotional decisions. Yep. Less emotional decisions. You shouldn't operate on your emotions. Now, I hear people say, well, Tony, that's what gets you moving. And that, yeah, okay. Your emotions should be used, but you shouldn't wear it on your sleeve so everybody else can see it. You have to get build up emotion and get going and do the things you need. But in public, when you're talking to people and dealing with people, you shouldn't be able to see that part. That's not you. You're operating now on rational decisions, being less emotional. You know, you got to deal with a lot of kind of, I don't want to say facts, but I am going to say facts. You know, when you out doing business, trying to think of an example that I dealt with where you know, in my sales background, I had the option. This is before network marketing. I had the option to sometimes drop my price because what I was getting in my commission was based off that volume. So, you know, whatever kind of equipment I was selling, whatever kind of ads I was selling, there was a space from, let's say the ad costs, well, the bottom line on that ad could be $40,000. My percentage was, I can't remember what it was, but the total volume or the total dollar amount is what I got a percentage off of. So I had it wasn't like I could just sell that for $50,000, a $10,000 gap. No, I had about $2,000 or $3,000 to play with. So if I'm at 53,000, no, I'm at 43,000, and the lowest I can go is 40,000. Then I had 3,000 to play with. But every percentage I drop is a percentage off of me because, you know, I'm getting percentage of the overall volume. I don't care. It could be anything over 40, but it couldn't be over 43. And I could drop only down to 40,000. So when I'm doing business, you know, I'm starting at 43,000. And I had to train myself to not get emotional with the client and just say, man, I know it's you, 40,000. Let's say my percentage was 20%. I think it might have been something like that. So 20% of 40,000 is 8,000. But 20% of 43,000 is $8,600. Now, in the big picture, somebody said, well, I'll just get the 8,000. Man, that $600 adds up over the year. That $600 could be play money. I'm not just giving it away through emotion. We're going to have to, I'm starting at 43 and we'll stick there for a long time until I see they're not budging. Then I got the room to move down, but I'm just not starting right off at 40. I had friends of mine who do that. And I told them, I said, when you start at 40, you can't move. You can't do them a favor. You can't do anything. You start at 43. You got a little wiggle room. But you can hold your ground at that. You have to decide by looking at the customer, talking to the customer, trying to figure out where they are in business. It doesn't mean that everybody is like that, because I've been through offices where the place was beautiful, immaculate, beautiful cars outside, and they were really struggling. And then some offices look like they need to be closed, turned into an abandoned building, and they had money to spend. I remember this one time I was selling this office equipment to this church. I probably told y'all this story. I tell so many stories, but it's still funny. I don't care how many times I say it. So this pastor wanted a high-end calculator. Don't know why. He wanted the top of the line fax machine. I can understand that. He wanted a copier. Okay. Church need all that. I don't know about that high-end calculator, but that calculator cost. So we wrapped it all up, and I think came out to about $15,000 or $16,000, something like that. And so I said, "You want to pay for this? You want to get it financed?" Oh, he said, I'd rather just get it financed. I said, okay. So now I'm young. I don't know. I'm naive kind of, I guess. Well, I don't know. Most people probably think what I was thinking. So he filled out the application. I sent it in to the corporate company, to the finance lady who, me and her were friends. And I left. I told him I'm going to call him back in an hour. Before I got in my car, she called me. Before I got in my car, she called me. And let me see, wait a minute. Yeah. She called me and said, she said, "You know that guy, the pastor?" I said, "No, I cold called him. I passed church, just went in there and cold called. She said, "Can I tell you something? Can I be straight with you?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "He should be able to pay cash." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Because he ain't paid nobody in 20 years, so he got to have some money." She said, "He ain't paid nobody in 20 years. She said, "I can't believe he filled out that application." What he did, he said, "The Lord gonna take care of me with this." And I guess he believed that the Lord was gonna make that financing come through. Not with us, it wasn't, but maybe somebody else. But she said, "This man ain't paid nobody in 20 years. He should have plenty of money." But back to being heartless. Not being heartless, but using your heart less when it comes to business. That's a part of winning. Winning wants all of you. This is a bad word to the inbox thinker. Well, bad 2 words. Winning has no balance. You know how I hear people say, well, you got to be balanced. The people who win in life, there ain't no balance. They all in 100%, 120%. And sometimes they lose other things that are important to them. See, there's this thing now in the world that says, now, this was not in my life growing up, but there's this thing now in the world that says, if you miss one of your child's baseball game, they gonna hate you for the rest of your life. If you miss a baseball game, they gonna be thinking about that the rest of your life. If you miss a football game, so parents now feel like if they go all in on this, they can't be with their kids and they're gonna hate them for where did that come from? My parents didn't go to my football games. My dad was working a part-time job. My mom was sitting at home. Read about me in the paper though. I didn't hate them for the rest of my life because they didn't show up. I knew what he had to be doing. Shoot, I wanted him to do that so he can put food in the house. Who created that? Where'd that come from? And why would a child just don't like you because you didn't come to their volleyball practice or their game and you were not there cheering for them and you wasn't? What? Who built that story? Who made that story? I don't understand. I remember growing up, me and my partners we used to hope our folks didn't show up. I remember my partner like, oh, yeah, my dad coming. We used to hope they didn't show up. I don't know. Y'all got to tell me where that came from because I know a lot of people have fallen for it now, and now they can't really do things they need to do because my child, I know he ain't gonna, I got to be there for him. I got a feeling your child might be something like me growing up too. They might not want you there, but you think they do. They might say that to you to make you smile. I think it's the parents. I think it's the parents who doing it. They don't want to be around. They don't put the child in there and say the child ain't gonna like you for the rest of their life because you didn't come to their volleyball practice or their game or their. You say children are different now, huh? Okay. I see that a lot, man. And I'm like, if you're going to win, you got to give it your all. You talking about you trying to win and be balanced. You listen to Shannon Sharp. He says, oh, you watch Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't do nothing at his house. He was never there when he played. That's why it was so awkward when he retired to be sitting around them. That's why he came right back. But they had what they had. They got what they needed. Well, your child need you to be around holding them and loving on them. Well, I hate it. I guess maybe that's why I'm so hard to, see, he ain't getting no loving. My dad loved me. I loved him. My mom loved me. I love her. I'm going to call her today. My love is not a roof over their head. Okay. I don't know what that means, but you're saying your love is not paying the bills and taking care of them and getting them food and getting them clothes and all that stuff. You're saying that's not. I believe kids care a lot more about that. Let me get them. Is a roof, etc. See, we need to have a open line conversation with this stuff. I don't know, man. This is I need to know how people really think out here, man, and why they think that way. But Shannon Sharp talked about how his kids, when he was playing, they didn't see him hardly, but they got everything they needed and more that he didn't have growing up. He had nothing growing up. He was in the house with his family, but he had nothing. No running water, couldn't take a bath, nothing. He said, I didn't want to put my kids through that. And he said the biggest problem was the friends, neighbors, and family members telling the kids, when your dad coming around, when your dad. He's like, they weren't even thinking about that unless somebody brought it up to them, as if I was a bad guy. I can tell you this. If it was me, and I may be different, if you was there with me every day and every night, loving and hugging me, and I couldn't get the sneakers I wanted, and I couldn't get the clothes I wanted, because you know how, what's the song? When I'm here, you talking about what your girlfriend got and what you ain't got. But then I'm on the road, you talking about, you said, I can't be at two places at the same time. I don't understand that. Shoot, my dad was a school teacher, and he waited at this country club. I remember taking him to work, coming back at 1 o'clock in the morning, picking him up. Then he'd go to teach school. And I believe I learned all of my work ethic from that. That's ever since then, high school, college, I had a job, man. High school, I had 2 or 3 different jobs. College, I had a job where I worked at this hotel. Drove the hotel van to go pick up pilots from the airport. 8 hours a day. I would go to class. When I got out of class at 2 o'clock, I went to the hotel and I drove that van for 8 hours, picking up pilots only to bring them back to the hotel. Then I get home at 10 and I go to my little kitchen spot there and on the table start studying my homework. This 3 years of college, it was my sophomore year I started doing that. So I understand when you got to get out here and get it. If you want to do something special, if you want to go make, life a lot easier for people. Because one thing for sure, for years, I was the candy man. My family called me, but I was grinding. Can I get this? All I need is that. I was way out of balance. So, all right, folks. I think I'm going to stop doing these hours. I might get y'all. It's too long. It's 2 hours. It's an hour. Yesterday, hour a day, huh? I lost y'all. Y'all there? Oh, she wrote. Pen. Oh, there she is. Pen and the pencil broke.